Today reading from Matthew chapter 5, verses 17 through 19. Jesus tells us that he has come not to abolish the law and the prophets, but to bring it to fulfillment. In fact, he will not change any aspect of the law. Now, this might be kind of hard to hear at first because, well, we kind of live in what's called an antinomian society. Antinomianism means that we're kind of opposed to the law. We don't like the idea that there are rules. We think we can kind of make up our own story and make up our own rules as we go along. And as fun as that might sound, at the end of the day, the law is there for a reason. What is it exactly that the law shows us? When we look back at the Old Testament, the law shows us not something that's meant to be restrictive, but rather the law shows us that God cares. God cares about our actions. God cares even about the small things that we do. The law is there to help us to order our lives, and sometimes the law might not quite make sense to us. We may not fully understand it, but still, that's a sign of God teaching us, showing us how to order our lives, and even sometimes when that law doesn't really make much sense, asking us to obey it anyway, asking us to sacrifice our own preferences and our own will. And Jesus tells us that he's not going to get rid of the law. Rather, he's going to bring it to fulfillment so that we can understand more perfectly what that law is, so that obedience to God becomes something that is not a mystery where I have no idea why I'm obeying God, but rather because I know the love that God has for me, because Jesus Christ has loved me first. It's Jesus who shows us perfect obedience. It's Jesus who is above the law, who shows us obedience to everything that God has ever asked. And so we want to imitate that obedience. The fulfillment of the law is the love of Jesus Christ poured out for us on the cross. And so as we approach Calvary, let us ask for that gift to know and to live in that love.